Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, where am I here? Let's get situated. Welcome to Poprageous Thursday night. I think I had a few audio problems last night. It was, but I got it. The whole show. There was one little thing that I didn't actually put in there, but I think so. Today I'm with StreamYard. Broadcasting with StreamYard. So I think I got everything worked out. Everything is looking good. Yeah. You always got to check because you got this on the Roadcaster. There's all these like voices
that you can put on.
It's like my sister, brothers, sons, welcome
to Erebor.
That's the kind of stuff you can do, right? So Thursday night, it's summertime. We're having it's a little bit. Do I want to say slack? It's about but there is some news today with Alan Ritchson. You know what? You can take the Alan Ritchson news and the idea that he is going to be Batman. With the greatest. I don't know what the DCU is so messed up. So you just pushed Batman 2 out even further. That one's coming out in what was it, December or January 2028? They just pushed that out. I'm sure that I think James Gunn. The DCU is a mess. It's a mess. We're going to touch on the final wrap, the final Supergirl wrap, and kind of close the book on Supergirl. The numbers are bad. The movie is bad. The planning for the entire DCU is bad. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense what James Gunn and Safran are doing there at DCU. It is a disaster. Let's be honest, right? It is a complete disaster. But it's absolutely terrible planning. Why would you put out Superman and then do basically the exact same character with Supergirl? What are you going to have? You're going to do doing a Justice League with Supergirl, Superman, and the dog? What is that? I don't know. I don't like. Good thinking, good planning, James. Cheers to your Thursday night. Star Trek. Sorry, had to check something. Star Trek Strange New Worlds came out today. I don't know if you watched it. Apparently not many people did. There are no reviews. There are on Rotten Tomatoes on Star Trek Strange New Worlds. There are 2 reviews. 2 reviews for Star Trek Strange New Worlds. Now I watched it. Holy jeez. It is, I gotta say, it's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb. As a science guy, I got the Science Channel, Dimension Zero. I'm a science nerd. Total science nerd. This was an absolutely ridiculous, stupidly contrived, obviously someone that has a very tertiary understanding of science and science fiction. Actually, it's not. You know what? I actually kind of coined a new term with Star Trek. It's not science fiction. It's not science fantasy. Star Trek has now become full-on science bullshit. Thank you. That's the new term. It's not science fiction. It's not science fantasy. It's science bullshit. If you've watched if you watch the first episode, if you watch the first episode of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, I should get put my feet up or something. It was bad. It was bad. It was seriously bad. We're going to talk about that. We'll throw 15, 20 minutes to Strange New Worlds. I think it's going to be a painful season. I think it's going to be a painful season 4. Look, when you got 2 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, there's 2 verified customer reviews. 2. That's it. 2. And there's not even a rating on IMDb. There's not even a rating. Well, I'll show you. We'll go into it. We're going to touch on Alan Ritchson. Quickly, we got an article fresh out just a few hours ago talking about the possibility that Alan might be, like we're on a first name basis, right? Alan Ritchson. I called Alan. I said, hey, Alan, it's Danny Alex at Poprageous. What's up with Batman? So anyway, we're going to go over that. Alan Ritchson, would you guys think he's going to make a good Batman? I mean, I love Ben Affleck. He's a little bit of that Ben Affleck. Can he play Bruce Wayne? He could probably do the Batman pretty good. Can he do the Bruce Wayne? Maybe. We'll see. You know what? The DCU, beyond anything else, not like Marvel is in any better shape. Apparently, they're talking about. Did you hear? They're talking about. The rumor on the street is, and I did hear this from one of my buddies because I spent 20 years in Los Angeles and I moved away. But the rumor is that Old Man Iron Man is going to come back. He somehow, not a different universe Iron Man. Not a different universe Iron Man. Not like we're talking Old Man Iron Man. We're talking the dude Iron Man, the guy. Old Man Robert Downey Jr. We are, if that happens, I mean, when you see something that happened that was pretty good, like the 2010s was pretty good for theater, for movies, for just kind of functuate, right? For just that feeling that theater gave us, like going to the cinema, if I can use like a British term, going to the cinema. Can we go to the cinema, mummy? It was a good time. Like there's so many movies, even the bad movies felt like they weren't too bad in the 2010s. Now, bad is bad. And what they're doing now to us is they're perpetrating review BS. What I call review bullshit. just be frank with it. Have you guys seen the reviews for all this stuff? It is absolutely, like, for example, if you go back to The Woman King, right? It's got a 99% viewer approval. Now, there's like every time you go to Rotten Tomatoes is literally Rotten Tomatoes. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if I'm telling you anything you didn't know. Rotten Tomatoes stinks. It absolutely stinks. People are bribing, and you ask the question, isn't that fraud? If you bribe a company. Now, I went over this on Saturday. Fashion Nova got fined by the FTC $4 million because they were deleting low reviews, and they got fined because it's basically FTC basically said, look, if you're deleting bad reviews, it's basically kind of fraud, right? You're trying to perpetrate a fraud on the consumer by getting rid of the negative reviews, and wow, it's got nothing but 4 or 5 star reviews. This like Temu, right? Temu, where's the FTC in all this? Why is it that you can literally, and of course, then they blame the audience. They blame the fans. Like the fans are organized and orchestrated. Like fans are going to spend thousands of dollars to review bomb a movie. No, the studios will spend millions of dollars to fake review bomb a movie. And when I say review bomb, review bomb to the upside. We're going to touch on that today. We're going to touch on it, and that's what the Odyssey reviews. The Odyssey is. Look, it's a bad movie. Any way you slice that pig. I made this. Was it the Saturday show? Talk about pigs, right? So they're trying to turn the guys into pigs, right? Cersei, And it's a very feminist. It's a very feminist thing. Like the idea that 3,000 years ago, the fact that men went to war and they did their war with swords and stuff was a bad thing. And now you have feminists 2,800 years later saying, "Oh, you're bad. You're bad men. You're all bad men." Yeah, like men really enjoyed going into battle with swords and battle axes. Like that sounds like fun. But anyway, so it's the whole idea. Like when I look at this is the way I look at the Odyssey. It's not a pig with lipstick. It's not, because this pig, they had to put eyelashes on this pig. And when they put the the eye extension lashes on, the lipstick and the eyelashes, no, that wasn't enough for the Odyssey. We need more. So they put some eyeliner on. How's that? Well, we got lipstick, we got eyelash extensions, we got eyeliner. No, we need a good foundation. We gotta clear. And so they put some foundation on. So we put on the pig, we put lipstick, foundation, eyeliner, and eyelash extensions. Do we need any more? We need something else. They can't dress this pig up enough. Every review thing that I've done here at Poprageous is unequivocally shows people do not like this movie, but yet it's a constant barrage of review fixing. Anyway, we'll talk about it. So Alan Ritchson, let's go right to Alan Ritchson. So the talk is that Alan Ritchson. Where are we here? We're gonna, yeah, that's the one we want. No, is that the one? No, we want Fortress of Solitude. That's a good article. Let's do Fortress of Solitude. Let's share a screen. Let's share a screen. There we go. Add to stage. We're gonna go like that. Yeah, si, senor, si. So guys, here's what's going on. And I found this pretty interesting. So this came out not too long ago. July 23rd. I think it came out just a little bit ago. Look, DCU's in terrible shape, right? I mean, it isn't just in terrible shape. Alan Ritchson teases playing Batman again, reveals regular contact with James Gunn. Alan Ritchson isn't hiding from the fact he wants to play Batman. The question is, does James Gunn want him for the role as well? I don't even think that James Gunn is in a position. He's in a desperate position. As an actor, you may very well sign on to some movie for DCU, and James Gunn's not even going to be there. If the Warner Paramount acquisition actually happens, the states of we'll see. There's a lot of moving pieces right now. If you recall, Fortress of Solitude conducted an interview with Reacher star Alan Ritchson when he revealed he wanted to play Batman a few years ago. Everyone weighed in on the topic, but the general consensus was that it would be a stellar coup if James Gunn cast Ritchson as the DC Universe's Dark Knight. I don't know what you guys think. Not the worst choice. I don't know if it's the best choice. Maybe it is the best choice. I haven't thought about it that much. Doesn't seem like a bad choice. I know a lot of people are rooting for Alan Ritchson. Now, nothing has happened on the casting front, but there's also the Batman. Mostly because Matt Reeves' The Batman Part 2 keeps being delayed more times than a South African Airways flight, and Gunn doesn't want to cause confusion with two Batmen running around in the DCU. Well, then make a decision. Why was it greenlit? I mean, you could have 2 years ago put that on the just. Don't even backburner it. Just cancel it. But you just let it. It's still there. Now, even if you cancel it now, I don't know how you cancel it. Wasting all that money. You're going to look stupid. I mean, you're going to look really stupid. Really stupid. Where are we now? Even so, that hasn't stopped fans from dreaming of Ritchson as Gotham City's greatest hero. In fact, he gets asked about the possibility on a regular basis. During an appearance on the Happy, Sad, Confused podcast to promote Motor City, Ritchson was asked about the Batman rumors again in what's likely to be music to many fans' ears. This is the important part. He confirmed that he's in regular communication with Gunn, though he didn't outright confirm which role they have discussed. So just from that perspective, it's, obviously it's up in the air. Nothing's going to be confirmed until something is confirmed. Yeah, that's what's going to happen. Yeah. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Yeah. Where are we? There's so much to unpack here that you don't even know. Ritchson said, "I really respect James." Well, of course, he's the one hiring. I would like to do something with James. James would like to do something with me, but my litmus test for what I will take is strict. For all intents and purposes, Alan Ritchson's a pretty big star in Hollywood. Like when it comes to a leading man, Alan Ritchson is pretty big, right? Ritchson added that he wants to be a part of a movie he's proud of, so the project and opportunity have to be right for him and DC to work together. When host Josh Horowitz asked Ritchson if he had a character in mind to play and mentioned Batman, Ritchson smiled. "Look, the future is bright and the horizons are broad and anything is possible for any of us," he said. The fact that Ritchson has been extremely vocal about playing Batman in the past and refuses to shut down any rumors is cause for cautious optimism. Whether it ever happens or not is another story, but considering Ritchson's physical appearance, rising star, and charisma, it's difficult to imagine a better actor to play the Dark Knight right now. And you gotta kind of agree with that. Like, I don't know who you would choose. Like, who's a better candidate for the Dark Knight right now? I just question whether he can pull off a Bruce Wayne convincingly. One or the other. Ben Affleck did both really well, really well, if you ask me. I didn't like Christian Bale as Batman. I didn't like Christian Bale as Batman. That's me. Because I think the Batman trilogy was not good. The Christopher Nolan trilogy to me was not good. Fans agreed too. In the comments section of the podcast, one commentator wrote, "It would be stupid if they don't at least try a Batman show or movie with Alan. They already fumbled John Hamm. Hopefully something happens." Another said it would be amazing DCU Batman and a very different from Rob's, which would be cool. So there you have it. James Gunn. The people have spoken. Make the offer and do the right thing here. Stop messing around before the MCU swooshes in and casts him as the new Eddie Brock or something. Maybe if Ritchson is cast as Batman, you could get his neighbor to play the Joker and have round 2 of their infamous one-sided fight on the big screen. That's what you got, my friends. That's what you got. That is right there. That is the Alan Ritchson story. Now, yeah. So Alan Ritchson is Batman. Is it going to happen? I don't know what. They've got this Batman 2, this Robert Pattinson Batman thing out there. It's a mess. It should have been. If you ask me, it just should have been canceled. If they're starting an entirely new DCU. Batman is the most important character for the DCU. Why wasn't it just canceled? Why wasn't that whole character line when they had an opportunity just to cancel it? Was Zaslav saying no? Someone was saying no to James Gunn canceling the Batman, which is why we still have a Batman 2 coming out. What's the point of it? There's no point of it. Either get rid of the DCU and let all these singular kind of these single branch movies kind of go out there with all these characters, or get rid of these single branch characters and focus on the DCU. You can't have it both ways. I know they want it both ways, but you can't have it both ways. But yeah, If they like losing money, they took it. So you know what? Let's wrap up Supergirl. Can we wrap up Supergirl just once and for all? It's going. This has been one of the shortest. I think it's worse than Blue Beetle. We'll check. But Supergirl is worse than Blue Beetle. This is one of the worst superhero performances to the box office that we've ever seen. Let me, where are we going here? Let's, share screen, Supergirl, Box Office Mojo, Box Office Mojo, here we go. So here are the numbers for Supergirl. And I put my reviews in for Supergirl. It's a terrible movie on so many fronts, on every front. You know, from a protagonist, antagonist, what's the overarching, what are they fighting? I mean, this is just done so poorly. This is exactly how you do it. As a screenwriter, I mean, I could spend a lot of time going through the screenplay and going, here's the way that I would have changed it, or here's the way I would have written it. But regardless, it doesn't matter, because here is Supergirl. This really wraps it up. Domestic, 70 million. International, I'm surprised even there's 51 million international, because international does not care. It's not Canada. Canada is in with the domestic. So when they have the domestic in there, that means the United States and Canada. Is that UK, Australia, New Zealand, maybe a bit of Germany? I don't know. But on the domestic side, if we go to the domestic side, the last weekend, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Friday, 452,000, 618,000, and for a total of about 1.5 million for this past weekend. 1.5 million. That's all they got for the past weekend. I mean, that is about as dreary. I don't think Safran and Gunn had any idea that it was going to be this bad. But if we take a look, where is it? Blue Beetle. There it is. 2020. So 3 years ago already. Look at that. It's still below Blue Beetle. It's not going to catch Blue Beetle. Blue Beetle did almost 131 million. Call it 131 million. I think the budget was, call it 200 million. I think it was 180. Call it 200. 130. Go back to Supergirl. 121. There's no way it's going to do 8 or 9 million bucks. That is the final verdict on Supergirl. James Gunn, I mean, what more can you say about the DCU? It's an embarrassment. It is a huge blemish. It just gets worse. And you think Clayface is going to get any better? No, it's not going to get any better. Supergirl. Who even cares about Supergirl? I don't know. Not me. Not me. It's not me, my friend. Si, senor, si. So what do we? So the Odyssey, but no, Star Trek. Let's do Star Trek. I want to do Star Trek. Star Trek. So I watched Star Trek. Oh my god. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds, season 4, episode 1. This is this is the story for Strange New Worlds, episode 1, season 4, episode 1 was horrendous. They start off riding horses. So they're at a sci-fi thing. Look, obviously Anson Mount, he's pretty good on the horse. They wanted to get some sort of William Shatner. He loves horses, right? So let's get Pike on there on a horse as well. It's kind of like, it worked for Shatner. Maybe it's going to work for, Pike. Well, we went from that to, it was just this was the dinosaur episode, right? They went back in time 65 million years. This was the dinosaur episode. They went through, now they have, I don't even know what these things are. Interstellar storms? It's called a squall. What is it? A squall, right? What the hell is a squall? Interstellar squall. I don't know. I don't know. Someone got into a phone box. One of the girls. I mean, it is. Look, this is about as female as you get. You've got all the female characters. This is what is ridiculous about this TV show. And don't give me the stupid crap about, everything in this TV show is the oversaturation of females. Females are doing everything, making the big speeches, doing the heavy lifting, doing this, doing that. We had 3 other, even the dinosaur. There's a dinosaur that they stunned, a Tyrannosaurus Rex. And they were kind of referring to as a him. And then one of the girls said, oh, by the way, it's a she. Okay, are you fucking serious? Okay, all right. So it's a she. It's a she. The dinosaur was a she. They literally had to come out, put their foot down and say, this dinosaur is a she. Okay, got it. Then there's a commander of the alien race that shows up. The commander is you guessed it, it's a she, right? It's another she. And then then we had a Vulcan that came on for this a cadet training thing. And if you were going to say that she is a she, ladies and gentlemen, you were absolutely right. It was also a she. We had a dinosaur. Star Trek Strange New Worlds it's more feminine than a woman's bathroom. But the dinosaur was female, the commander was female, and the Vulcan cadet was female. On top of all the female characters, it is just, but they make it a point. Here's what seems disingenuous about the whole thing. They make it a point of telling you, who cared what sex the dinosaur was? They referred to it as a him before they stunned it, and then one of the characters has to say, it's a she. Oh, okay. So, sorry. I didn't realize that I was stepping on he, she pronoun toes. Does it matter? But this is what this show constantly tries to do, right? Take it to the point where it's just egregiously so. And like I said, we're going to get to it like some of the, there's only 2 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes. 2. There's no rating on IMDb. I'm guessing there's no reviews. No one's watching this thing. No one watched it. We'll see when the ratings come out. It's going to be pretty bad. But basically, they go back in time. And this is a Mars thing, 65 million years, right back to the Chicxulub asteroid. There is an entire civilization living on Mars. And somehow the Enterprise goes through this interstellar storm, whatever the hell that is. It's a squall. We've never seen an interstellar storm. They just make this stuff up. This is the problem. It is Melrose Place writers trying to do sci-fi. I mean, it really is hilarious. So they and somehow they bring up it's just technobabble. They go through this storm and they get quantum entanglement that somehow sends them back into time. They lose all their power except for life support. You guessed it. They've lost all their power except for life support. And these are spoilers, so if you're planning to watch Star Trek, be careful. I will tell you it's freaking ridiculous. This is stupid. This is, as I said, it's not science fiction. It's not science fantasy. This, my friends, is science bullshit. It's full on science bullshit. So anyway, that's where the dinosaurs are, right? 65 million years ago. And you know what happened 65 million years ago? The Chicxulub crater hit the Earth. But there's a whole entire civilization on Mars. And somehow something on an asteroid is eating the Mars planet and the civilization. They've got starships and everything, not like to the Federation. But they come on board because the Enterprise has got no power. They steal the warp drive, and somehow they know how to access the warp drive, turn it into a frickin' torpedo. And there's a 5th planet where these insects or whatever come from. So they nuke the 5th planet, or not nuke it. They antimatter the 5th planet, creating the asteroid zone. And one of these asteroids comes and hits Earth. But they figure to get back to regular time, they need something equivalent to the power of a supernova. So somehow, a little bit of antimatter and a planet exploding equals a supernova. Not even 1% of 1% of 1% of 1% would that equal a supernova. But regardless, a crater goes flying off. That's the Chicxulub crater. And they wrap all this. And we actually had a dinosaur punch. We had one of the females, I kid you not, there's a 3 female landing party looking for iridium. A raptor comes up to one of the girls, right? This is how stupid this show is. And she literally punches the raptor. I mean, this is full on female power. If you want female power, look, I don't know any show that has more female tendencies, but it's to a fault. That's the problem. It's to a fault. I would give this episode 4 out of 10, tops. 4. Is it a bad episode? It is a terrible episode. This is not the way. Look, we've got an entire season 4 and an entire season 5 that Alex Kurtzman has already rammed through. Right, he shoved it through. Where is Supergirl? Supergirl, or not Supergirl? Star Trek. There it is. Star Trek. Look at this. Look at this. This is insane. That's the one we want right there. Look at this. Let me share this, baby. How come it's not defaulting to this one? Strange New World Season 4 reviews. There you go. There's all 2 of them, my friends. And they're both 5s. They're both 5s. I thought about putting a review in, but I would be like a full-on 33%. I should. I bet you my review will not show up. Maybe I should. Here's the other thing. Star Trek on IMDb. Strange New Worlds. Season 4 reviews. Oh, I'm already on it. Am I? There's no reviews. There we go. Now there we go. Ratings aren't available for this season yet. Look, the episode's been out for almost a full day. And yet there are no ratings available. Nothing. Okay, I'll put one in. There you go. There's your... So shouldn't this thing appear as 4 out of 10 now? And 4 out of 10 is a fair... 4 out of 10 for Strange New World Star Trek. Season 4, episode 1 is a fair score. It's a fair score. It's the same old BS, right? It's the same old, they talk about going back and forth. What if we do this? What if we do this? We can do this. We can do this. Oh, okay, let's do this. Boom, they do it. That's all they do, right? This is about as, like I say, it's not science fiction. It's not science fantasy. This is absolute science bullshit. Welcome to science bullshit. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through a full season of this. This is Star Trek going down in a blaze of glory. Alex Kurtzman, he has done, and you got to ask yourself, maybe that's a poll that I will do tomorrow. Who has done a better job at destroying the franchise? Kathleen Kennedy at Star Wars, Alex Kurtzman at Star Trek. We'll do Kevin Feige at Marvel, and I don't know if you can point to a single person at Doctor Who. I mean, those are basically the 3 main. I'll find someone at Doctor Who. We'll do what's his name? The new guy, the gay writer guy that hired the gay. Everything. It's all gay. It's just one gay happy family. It's just what
everybody. Hey,
yeah,
baby.
no, totally. I'll try. I can't promise. I'll try. So guys, you can't dwell on this garbage. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. If you like it, that's fine. This to me, this is absolute garbage TV. How they try and take 65 million years ago. They try and take, like, there's a civilization living on Mars. And the Enterprise goes back. They lose all of their power except for life support. I mean, thank God for that, right? You lose everything but life support. That's convenient. So the civilization, because they got no power, this civilization, who's they got spaceships, but they don't have warp drive, they got spaceships. They take the antimatter. How would you even know it's an antimatter converter? They just take it. What do you, like, all right, okay, what? Oh, okay. But then they shoot this thing into a torpedo. And there's a fifth planet. That turns into the asteroid belt. And the asteroid goes flying into Earth. That's how the dinosaurs are destroyed. And the civilization 65 million years ago on Mars apparently perishes. And we have no trace of this civilization 65 million years ago. This is, it is full of ridiculous speeches. It is full of, like I said, if you watch, so there's 3 kind of new characters that show up in season 4, episode 1. And they all make it a point of making sure everyone knows what sex they are. The dinosaur, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. We got to kill him. We'll stun him. Okay, we'll stun him. We'll do this. They finally stun him. And then it's a 3-woman landing party, by the way, because there's no guys that can beam down. Ishman, so it's back for another garbage season, is it? Yes, it is, my friend. Yes, it is. I would argue that because you got the puppet show, right? We're talking season 4 with the puppet show. We just had the dinosaur show. I would venture a guess that this is going to be worse than season 3, which was worse than season 2, which was worse than season 1. But the dinosaur was a she. They actually went out of their way to say, this is what blows my mind. It's a she, by the way. Okay, well, the dinosaur, the T-Rex, was a female. And then we had the commander of the alien race that lives on Mars. She had 2 male bodyguards, but the commander of the alien race was, yeah, you guessed it, it was a female. Yeah, you guessed it. Yeah, thank you very much. and then the Vulcan cadet that came on, who was, if you're guessing that this Vulcan cadet, it could have been a male or a female. But if you're guessing it was a female, if it was a she, you were correct. Everything is always female. Everything. And they make it a point. They go out of their way to tell you, oh, it's a female. Oh, okay, well. And then every major speech is female, right? There's always a female standing up at the table saying, look, if you're a feminist, fine, go do your feminist shit. Whatever you do, go, you create a little army of women and you go and you frickin' bully people. That's your thing, right? Like the Me Too movement. That was your thing. Believe all women. Let's go bully a bunch of guys. That's all you do. It's a way to create a gang and then bully people. It's horrendous. It's absolutely disgusting. That's my opinion. It doesn't have to be yours, but that is what feminism is. What's the difference if you're going to bully somebody? What's the difference? Put the hat of a feminist on? I'm going to go bully people? That's different? How is that different? Believe all women? Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. Just believe all women. Let's just believe all women because a woman has never lied. I'll tell you what. I'm not gonna. Okay, you know what? I won't get into it. It's something that drives me crazy, my friends. But this show, season 4 of Star Trek, I was hoping for something better. I really was. I was hoping for something better. Of course it is. Yes, my friend. Yes. I love puppets, but on a Star Trek, it's not Angel. God help me when I see this. I've literally just been to watch Avenue Q. Well, I can't wait for the puppet show. Every time these shows, these people, they come out with you know what? I want She-Hulk season 2. I want it because I want these people to keep outputting this garbage. And that's not the worst of it, right? She-Hulk season 2 would not be the worst of it. It wasn't the worst TV show. It wasn't. Was it good? No. Was it amusing? Yes. Ahsoka. Season 2 is coming. The Acolyte. The Acolyte. $300 million. We could have saved. How many starving kids could we have saved? How many Americans in homeless Americans could we put up and clean them up and, found a job for them and get them back into society? But no, we decided to go make The Acolyte. I would love to see The Acolyte season 2. I can't say Bob Iger go do it. What's his name? The other guy from Disney. But there you see Anson Mount. Like, he loves horses. I'm sure they had to have a horse. Like, he comes on after riding horses on this planet. I don't know. And he's holding his saddle, and Spock says, "Did you want me to take that?" And he goes, "No, Spock. You know I like carrying my own equipment." Okay, fuck. Yeah, I get it. You like carry. Yeah, you'll carry. Yeah, I knew that, sir. I knew that. Oh my God. It's cringe. It's boring. It's horrible. It's science bullshit. Like, not even science fiction. Not even science close. Not even science fantasy. It's full on science bullshit. Guys, that is Star Trek Strange New Worlds. My review I just gave it a 4 out of 10 on IMDb. Do we have any? I don't think they'll register the vote. Season 4. I think what's coming in, and this is what they do, right? Still nothing. I think what they do is the votes come in so terrible, and they hold everything back. And I'm going to go over some of this on the next segment with the Odyssey, the fake reviews, which is basically fraud, right? Fake reviewing is basically fraud. Josh Darble, thank you, my friend. Thank you from Disney. Yes, Josh. Yes, Josh. D'Amaro. Josh D'Amaro. Did you see there's more layoffs at Pixar? They just have $1 billion movie, Toy Story, and now they're just laying off more people. Every time they have $1 billion movie, it's like, all right, well, it's time to just, we'll get rid of a bunch more of you people. It really is. It's incredible. So, yeah, Pixar. Yeah, more layoffs. More layoffs at a good old Pixar. But this is Disney. This is Disney. I mean, I spent 20 years in Los Angeles. 20 years. I was a screenwriter. I'm an award-winning screenwriter. I've won awards all over the world in some of the biggest film festivals, and I've never sold one of my screenplays. I actually want to film them myself, so that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. That's why I have no problem talking against the studio system. Look, the studio system, let it fall apart. I am against the Paramount Warner merger, but you know what? Let it come together. Let this beast of Hollywood destroy itself. Let it consume itself. Let it eat itself by swallowing its tail. The garbage that we get, I mean, the Odyssey. You cannot tell me that the Odyssey, it's what they do. Got to keep Disney Plus running at a loss somehow. Yeah. Well, I mean, they are pulling in a few $1 billion net, right? They do have positive cash flow. But I guess if you keep putting out absolutely garbage movies, like basically, now, I mean, I'm closing the book on Supergirl, right? That's it. We're closing the book on Supergirl. Can we get rid of Anson Mount? We're done with Anson, right? Goodbye. Good. I will cover episode 2 next week. Next Thursday, we'll watch it. If it is as bad as this episode is, I gotta at least cover it till the puppet episode. At least cover Star Trek. At least cover it to the puppet episode. I gotta see the puppet episode. Give me those puppets. Give me those puppets. Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen. So my whole hand. Oh, you can't see it. Oh, yeah, there we go. So my hand scribbles because I'm working on videos during the day. So I'm watching. I got a TV over here, so I'm watching Anson Mount and the crew. Highly feminized crew, by the way, on Star Trek: Strange New Worlds. Like every important decision, every important task, every important, like you get a landing party of 3 women. Shouldn't you? Just maybe I thought, can you what? What? It's like you're literally making the point, and then of course they go to the female dinosaur. We got the female this. We got every character is female. Every new character is female. Every guest appearance is female. Every dinosaur is a female, and they gotta let us frickin' know about it. Like holy shit, this is painful. Star Trek, Alex Kurtzman, you suck ass. Like really, that's being nice. Alex Kurtzman. Remember Section 31? You remember that? I don't know. So the Odyssey, guys. We got to touch base on the Odyssey. The Odyssey, and I've talked a lot about the Odyssey. I think it's a horrible movie. It's Christopher Nolan writes horrible screenplays. He writes terrible screenplays. The Odyssey is a slop fest of incoherent dialogue, incoherent scene mixing, incoherent, maybe not incoherent. It's not inspired by anything. It is clinical. It is a basic Lego block. This is like the classic Lego block movie. It's built by Lego blocks. Each scene has no real impact. There's no emotional content. There's nothing that would, I thought, who a good actor might have, Adam Driver might have been okay for Odysseus. They even could have got Gerard Butler, like, hey, Gerard, God, please, would you mind? Would you think about playing Odysseus? We could put one of those. We could put one of those muscle suits that The Rock had on Moana. we get a muscle suit. Oh my God, Moana! Holy jeez, Hollywood. Oh, what a. It is, and that's what a big part of me, right? Having spent 20 years in Hollywood. I would love to see. I'm taking more and more joy. I was almost disappointed when they said no Acolyte season 2. It's like, oh, come on. The Odyssey, yes, the Odyssey is very sterile. It is void of any human. Nothing was built. At the very end, the whole concept. Look, and I have said, John Leguizamo, give him a fucking Razzie Award. Robert Pattinson? Did Robert Pattinson in any way instill a sense of fear, threat, anything as the antagonist? He was terrible. There was no antagonist. There was nothing that made you go, oh man, I can't wait till Odysseus gets back and just whoops a little bit of butt. And then we get back to the Conan move. It's like he's got this, guys, I'm telling you, if you spend money to go see the Odyssey in the theaters, you will be pissed off. You will be. I only went because I had to review it. I would not have gone to see it. There's no way. This is the end of the Christopher Nolan halo. And word got out that he is, and I've been saying this for a long time, for a few weeks now, that he is getting at least 10% of the gross, of the entire gross. I actually turned out right. Because what he's getting is 20% of the studio gross, which is 50% of the take, right? So if the movie does $1 billion, the studio take is $500 million. Christopher Nolan takes $100 million. Now, if he takes $100 million, you got to double that. We've got a movie that would need $1 billion. Oh, sorry, $1 billion. If it's $1 billion, then you would need $1.2 billion to break even. And I have said this. Do you think Nolan, after Oppenheimer, didn't sit down in the chair and say, you know what, I'm calling the shots here. You want my movie? Here's what I want. I want 20% of the studio box office. And he got it. Universal said, we'll take that. Okay, yeah, we'll take that. Done. We'll sign it at 20. That sword, spear, shield. I know. I mean, the Monty Python. Ishvin, the Monty Python. I look when they went to go see the Lazagoni. Like, what is it? I wish I could say my Greek words better. Nice work. If you can get it. Hey, of course. Remember when they go see the Giants? Remember when they went to go see the Giants? Matt Damon walks up, and it's literally, you can see Monty Python. Run away. I should have had, like, I wonder if I could, hold on a sec here. I bet you I could, hold on a sec. It's just ridiculous. I mean, one of my favorite movies is The Holy Grail. I literally just watched The Holy Grail about a month ago. I was sitting here it was at nighttime. I was doing videos. I said, what do I want to watch? I'm going to do The Holy Grail. I put it on, I watched The Holy Grail. There's got to be there. Of course it is right there, man. You guys, this is the scene from, this is a scene, guys. I'm gonna play this from the Odyssey. This is a scene from the Odyssey. This is when they go to the giant island when Matt Damon runs up. This is a scene from the Odyssey.
Where? There. What, behind the rabbit? It is the rabbit.
Okay.
You silly sod!
I mean, they should have recreated this. I mean, I can't play all this, or else they're going to copyright me on this. But let me pull this a little bit further.
Oh no, you know.
Little bunny rabbit. Here it is. Wait for it. That's the money ticket, my friends. That's the Odyssey. It's just a bunny. It's just giants, my friends. There you go. That you won't see that. You won't get these takes. I'm close. I get these takes right from the Odyssey. Right over. That's what happened. Yes. Oh no, that was clear. That was shot in IMAX. The bunny was actually disguised as a giant, but that is running away. You got it, Ishman. You got it, my friend. You got it. Yep. It is hard to put into words. I was laughing. I had a guy sitting. I was in the recliner at the very, very back of the theater. I was in the recliner chair, and there was a guy beside me, and I was laughing. I don't know what he was doing. I think he thought it was a good movie. But there is no way you could go to the theater and you watch this thing. You see Matt. First off, there's this dog that they put out there, right? I mean, the whole thing, right? I tell everybody, like, what was your favorite part of the Odyssey? And this is counterintuitive. You think, as a screenwriter, someone who has been in Los Angeles for 20 years, that Danny Alex would have a more sophisticated answer. My favorite scenes were the Elliot Page scenes. Elliot. Why? Because they were just so funny. They were good. They were funny. It was like the opening with the The three guys with the, rings of power with the Numenorian. You see the Numenorian armor? They got the beige armor with those helmets. They're like cardboard cutout helmets. Practical effects, right? Practical effects. Oh, I want. What's this? In our IMAX theater, there was nothing, no reaction to anything, and I mean anything. We arrived, sat, watched it, and left. Well, if I was sitting beside you, my friend Ishman, you would have had this guy. I was literally laughing, and I couldn't stop laughing. It was especially at the end, right? When I get it. Everyone was like saying, "Did you remember? You remember the Cyclops?" Look, NVIDIA is just releasing their Vera chip, right? It's like 200 times more powerful than the Blackwell or something like that. It's like uber more powerful, right? And I'm a tech guy, right? I big into tech. I write code, yada, yada, yada. Dude, throw in some CGI. It's like I film movies like it's 1987. That's what I do. I film movies like it's 1987. My name is Christopher Nolan. My name is Christopher Nolan.
And I film movies like it's 1987.
They had the hand. So if you remember the hand, they're running out. They just stabbed the Cyclops, and there's this animatronic hand, right? They got this fake hand. It's just sitting there. It's like you. And then they all run under the hand, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm horrified. At this point in time, I'm horrified for Christopher Nolan. I'm like, oh my god, he did. Oh my, he did. It looked like something from like a 1964 John Wayne movie. Brushing the sheep. The dog, right? They throw the dead dog in the garbage. At the end of the movie, the dead dog is still in the garbage. The dog is still there. Or not the dead dog, the dying dog. It's still there. It's still there. John Leguizamo, Robert Pattinson, give them a Razzie Award. Can we give them a Razzie Award? They need an award. John Leguizamo, the Colombian playing a Greek, who is militantly opposed to anyone who we require more. There are more Colombians in the Odyssey than there were Greeks. They should have put Shakira in there, right? A little bit of Shakira. Yeah, that's my Shakira impression. Yeah, real sexy. Real sexy. Holy shit. Dude. When you kind of listen to an emotional reaction from a dog on a screen, you're in real trouble. Yes. And look, and as a screenwriter, it's one of the early things you learn as a screenwriter. When you want to build sympathy, when you want to build anger against the antagonist, animals are always the best way. And one of the easiest examples is Tombstone. Opening scene, they introduce the antagonists. We hate them already, right? They go to the wedding, they kill the preacher. These are bad hombres. And then we see Wyatt Earp, right? And right before we see Wyatt Earp step down, we see the horse being slapped with the heavy rope, right? And then Wyatt Earp comes, grabs it, slaps the guy. It's like, hurt, don't it? That's how you endear people, right? And that's what Nolan was going for, right? Because Odysseus comes back and he's got the dog. Like, oh my god. And then the fight scene, right? You've got who are you? I'm a veteran of the Trojan War. Hold on a sec. I can do that. I can do better. Who are you, sir?
I'm a veteran of the Trojan War. Thank you very much.
Sorry, who are you again?
I'm a veteran of the Trojan War.
Where do I went? I mean, and then he goes, he got to the arrow, right? He got the Nerf bow. He's got the Nerf bow. He's shooting 50 guys with the Nerf bow. Then he takes an arrow. You see him stabbing people, right? There's like 8 people around him. He's like, stab, stab, stab. That's when I was laughing. That's when I was laughing. I was like, this is not, is this real? Am I literally watching this? Are people going to say this is an epic movie? 3 ships, 3 Viking ships, Greeks in a Viking ship. I don't know why. Greeks, practical effects are so great. They're so good. We used Viking ships in lieu of Greek ones because it would have been too expensive to actually build Greek ships. I love practical effects. Look, you do practical effects when it's warranted. But could you imagine doing a Cyclops with a little bit of CGI? You've got NVIDIA computers, NVIDIA, that are pumping out, that are doing things that computers 2 years ago could not do. Christopher Nolan, you dumbass. Like, I'm sure you're a nice guy, and I don't like being condescending. Not a condescending guy. Especially being, you like to think like, if you've been in Los Angeles and you'd be like, screenwriting, you're kind of into sort of a community. Look, that doesn't matter anymore. People are taking sides. I've taken a side, and it's against the Hollywood establishment. That's why I've left and I started Poprageous. As a screenwriter, I will do my own movies my way. And, unbelievable. But if we go, let's take a look at this. Where's the Odyssey? I'm gonna close Star Trek. We're done with Star Trek. Just hold on a sec. Can we just one more time? I just want to play this. I just want to reminisce about the Odyssey. Can I? Are we okay? Hold on a sec. Where are we? You know what? We will sleep better. We will all sleep better if we can. One more time. This is the Odyssey. That's when the Giants attack. One more time. That is the Odyssey, guys. You will not see that on any other channel. That was the attack of the Giants. Right there. Right there. That's what's left. That's what's left. You're welcome. You're welcome. Run away. Oh, this is just incredible. John Wick, of course. Even the dog from Independence Day. Good point. Look, John Wick, the first John Wick is one of the best written screenplays. It is brilliant. It is a brilliantly written screenplay. It's brilliantly executed. You tell me you don't get like your little hairs going down your spine when what's his name is talking to Theon Greyjoy about Baba Yaga. I once saw him kill 3 men in a bar with a pencil. And he's walking down the stairs, right? John Wick is walking down the stairs. This is brilliant cinema. Think back to John Wick and the first John Wick. That first time you saw John Wick, we don't know who this guy was. We didn't know he's the killer that he is, the assassin. But they slowly build us into it until he's walking down the stairs and he starts smacking the concrete as what's his name is telling Theon Greyjoy about Baba Yaga. It's a brilliant scene. Emotionality, right? This has happened 3 times. Cyclops, Giants, and Hades. It did run away. God, 3 times. I know. Oh my God. Guys, on every turn, and you got to think right in the beginning, they've got the horse. It's in the sand, right? The horse is in the sand. So they go out, they're going to start digging the horse out from the sand. Doesn't someone say, is it really worth it? Nobody. So they're digging this horse out for like 3-4 hours. Nobody inside that horse goes like, or nobody. There's not a peep. There's like, they got straws from like In-N-Out. They got In-N-Out straws and they put it in their mouth so they could breathe. A few of them died from drowning. And of course, drowning men make no noise. Oh my God. Even Emily Watson, the feminist, She had some issues with this movie. Wow. And of course, at the end, look, the attack of Troy. Do you remember Troy? That's one thing they did. If you looked at the walls, 2004 Troy with Brad Pitt. Remember the big walls? They had 80-foot walls, and these walls were 20 feet thick. Those were the walls of Troy, right? Those were the walls of Troy. Holy. And the gates. But apparently that horse was so valuable, they had to go out there, dig this horse up for hours. I don't know why the Greeks just didn't attack right then and there. Like, you got the gates open, you got everyone digging. They want this horse so bad. Hey, is there anything inside the horse? I don't know. Did anyone check? No. But we killed this 4'9" Greek guy, because if all the Greeks are this size, we should do okay against them. Or we really should. Remember in Troy, that big guy, he's like 6'10". He had the big freaking hammer. That guy was pretty cool. That guy was pretty cool. I wasn't big on Brad Pitt's lines, and he was not happy either, Brad Pitt. But when the Greeks landed, it was epic, right? So they had the camera. So basically what they did is they just took a drone. This is 2004, for God's sakes. They just took a drone, they flew it across the beach, the set where they're going to have, the invasion of Troy, and then they just CGI'd all these ships in. It looked more real than freaking his Christopher Nolan's Viking ships. The walls of Troy. And then the Brad Pitt, what's the Australian actor guy who played Hector? That scene was, those are actors in incredible shape doing physically demanding things. I'm sure there's a little bit of extra, there may not have been extra stuff. Brad Pitt's a very athletic guy, right? And apparently, I know they had a bet. Banner and Pitt had a bet who was going to hit each other, now Brad Pitt was doing a lot more crazy things, right? He was doing a lot of the attacking. So it's not fair to say that, Brad Pitt actually kind of, hit Banner more because, he's Achilles. So the point is, the attack of Troy, I was shocked. I don't know if you were, Ishmael, but I was shocked. I could not believe they break and I kind of equate it to the Mines of Moria in Lord of the Rings, right? I kind of wanted the Mines of Moria door, speak friend and enter. And it's like this little 8-foot, 9-foot door, kind of like I always envisioned that door to be like, 18 feet high, this massive door. Well, whatever. It worked. They used CGI. Could you imagine Lord of the Rings without CGI? Could you imagine it? No CGI. Peter Jackson doesn't believe in CGI, so we're going to film Lord of the Rings without any CGI.
How stupid do you think I am?
I don't know how stupid. I don't know. Christopher Nolan, this is such a bad movie. But when they attacked Troy, do you remember when they attacked Troy? There's this little gate. It was like the end of Superman 2025. Eric Bana. It was the end of, remember Superman 2025 when Baravia attacks, which was basically a Caucasian army, attacks the very diverse army on the other side. They had one tank or two tanks and one armored vehicle. And then they just roll this little fence over. Then they go in oh my God. I was just thinking in Superman 2025. So basically they had $100,000 left in the budget. How do we make a war? Well, here's how we do this war. Okay. The attack of Troy at the end was about the same. It was about a 12-foot wall, 3 feet thick, a little doorway. And then the courtyard was a bunch of trees they planted. Running through, trying to do this ridiculous practical effects. Buddy, there's no way you could say, oh, CGI. You know what sucks with CGI is bad CGI. But you cannot do modern day movies without computers. This is what makes me sick of the stupidity of this whole argument with, oh yeah, it's practical effects. Well, how is that freaking good, you dumbass? 8 foot tall, and it was like opening the black gates to Mordor, right? Exactly. The gates of Mordor. Yeah, 8 foot tall doors. It was like, argh. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You didn't need a battering ram for those freaking gates. Freaking Elliot Page with a hammer could have knocked those gates down. Give Elliot Page a little freaking hammer. He or she would have knocked those freaking gates down. Sir, we've got a guy at the front door. What is it? Well, he looks like to be a skinny transitioning person, and he's hitting our door with a hammer. Run away! Run away! I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. Run away! The Trojans, right? Run away. Get that. Xenon is attacking. I love the Xenon. It was... Look, if you weren't laughing when Elliot Page was doing her, he, she... I don't know. I know. What... Every word that he, she spoke, you could tell that the voice was between male and female. Like, it wasn't male, and it kind of wasn't female, but it was, you could kind of, like, it was something like in between. But the attack of Troy, and of course, the feminist side, Christopher Nolan, the feminist, if I may say, the feminist Christopher Nolan.
Hey, baby.
Yeah, no,
Fuck you.
Yeah, I'm not going to behave. The feminist side of Christopher Nolan comes out. He's a feminist. Christopher Nolan, I mean, he's showing his cards this time. Showing his cards. I did a survey. Where are we here? I did a survey, and I love doing these surveys. Where are we here? I didn't even check it today. So on my other channel, Dimension Zero, I'm going to share this tab. Here it is. So I did this. I mean, there's only 203 votes so far, but still, 200 or 300 votes. Things don't change, guys. They do not change. Best sci-fi movie of 2026 so far. I'm surprised at Obsession at 3%. Is it sci-fi? Well, it's horror sci-fi. I mean, I still put it in that. The Odyssey at 7%. Mandalorian and Grogu is beating. This is on my other. I have a science channel, Dimension Zero, which is on Facebook and YouTube and TikTok. Because I love starships, I love science. I'm a science guy. I'm a math guy. I'm a Spock. I love Spock, and I hate what Star Trek is doing to Spock. In every freaking franchise, they got to have Spock in everything, right? Leonard Nimoy, God rest your soul, my friend. Mandalorian and Grogu and Project Hail Mary was the 80%. I mean, okay, that's pretty big. Well, this is kind of interesting. I want to go to here it is. The Odyssey. Did you like it? Did you like the Odyssey? How many votes we have? 339 votes. Not a huge amount of votes. Not everyone has seen it though either, right? Most of my polls usually get about 1,000 to 1,500. Well, actually 1,000 to 2,000 votes. But did you like the Odyssey? So I always like to do the polls. So I don't want to direct anyone in any direction. I want the real data. Loved it. Awesome. 8 plus, 17%. It was okay, but not good. A score of 6 to 8 at 16%. It was not good. 4 to 6. That's where I was. 4 or 5. It was probably a 4. I did give it a 5 on IMDb, which is probably one score too high. And then, of course, the Odyssey sucked. A 1 to 4, 55%. This is genuine. Now, summertime heat. Wait for it. Don't run away. Run away. Oh, where are we here? we missed this? Ishman, the irony, she hated... I understood why they wanted to keep the horse better in Troy 2004 than Odyssey. Gift to the Gods, I think, was the simple reason. I mean, the entire horse thing is, whether you believe the horse thing or not is, I mean, there's no evidence to show that there was. It's in Homer's Odyssey. There's no evidence. They haven't uncovered evidence for the Troy. For Troy existing, right? Easily, PHM, Ryan Gosling, always easy to watch. How can you not love Rocky? It was, and look, that was science fiction, right? Ishmael, that was science fiction. Project Hail Mary was science fiction. That was good science fiction. But the writer, what's his name? The writer who also did The Martian, this is what we're missing. We're missing good science, good sci-fi, good fantasy. There's good horror, but really on the sci-fi side, you have Melrose Place writers that are usurping and taking the writing roles, the creative roles at sci-fi. But this was big, 55%, guys. This is 55%. This is just my poll. This is my poll. At 55%, anything over 300 votes is statistically, I guarantee you, on any poll, it will not change. On something like, here's a poll, 1.2 thousand votes. Who would win Borg, Cube, or Death Star? There's a great argument there. 1.6 thousand votes. The best sci-fi franchise, Star Trek wins out. I thought Battlestar Galactica would have done a little bit better. But anyway, you get the point, right? There's the point. The whole idea is the amount of people that really dislike, that really, honestly, genuinely dislike the Odyssey is real. Because I could not have... I was shocked that 55% of the people would vote and say, I hate it. People will say, oh, well, you know what? They're inclined to say that. Well, people are also inclined to say, I like it. As a matter of fact, they are paying for votes, and we know this unequivocally. The studios are paying for votes. What is it called? Floodify? Floodify is the website where they literally go and they start creating this paid-for media BS, right? Floodify. Andy Weir, thank you. Thank you, Ishmael. Andy Weir, thank you. The author, the writer of Project Hail Mary, and he's written 3 books, and I guess this other movie does not have any takers yet. Maybe he's writing another book. But if we go, let me pull this up. Critic, you know what? Yeah, I'm going to do this first. I don't mind Geeks and Gamers. I think they do a pretty good job overall, but this is the Critic List, and we're going to go to Critic List, and we're going to go to Rotten Tomatoes. We're going to go to IMDb. The Odyssey audience score, and this is about fraudulent. There's a company called Fashion Nova. They were nailed with a multi-million-dollar fine for deleting 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, even 4-star reviews. They were fined by the FTC for creating what they call fraud. So where's the FTC in all this? Where's the FTC? So if you're trying to allegedly fraudulently delete the low reviews, someone's paying you to delete low reviews to make a movie look like it's good. So you go and it's got a 9.2 rating. We should go see it with the kids maybe this weekend. That's what happens, right? That is what happens. The Odyssey audience score on Critic Lists. Critic Lists is important here. Tells a very different story than Hollywood's favorite review sites. For weeks, Christopher Nolan's The Odyssey has been presented as an overwhelming success with critics and audiences alike. Major entertainment outlets have highlighted the film's 94% Rotten Tomatoes critics score and 97% audience rating as evidence that Nolan has once again delivered a universally beloved blockbuster. Run away! Run away! It's shite. It's shite. However, another review platform is painting a much different picture, raising now, Metacritic is also not bad. We'll check out Metacritic too. Raising fresh questions about how accurately mainstream review aggregators reflect what everyday moviegoers actually think. 55% negative on my unbiased question on my poll. By the time that poll is done, it'll probably get 1,000 votes, which is statistically, it's not going to change. After like I say, after 200-300 votes, it almost never changes. A different kind of audience score, while Rotten Tomatoes audience's score suggests near universal praise. Oh, hold on a sec. User-driven review sites like Critic currently tells a far more divided story. After its opening weekend, the Odyssey sits at 47, I think it's down to 46% on Critic based on roughly 209 user votes. 200 is like the magic number. Once you hit 200, statistically, it's not going to change much after that. Rather than overwhelming praise and outright condemnation, the review cluster around a much more middle-of-the-road consensus. Criticless. As mainstream critics, media, and Rotten Tomatoes pretend everyone loves the Odyssey, the Criticless score tells another story. It appears general audiences are more divided than some would like to believe. Why the manipulation? To sell tickets, mofo. To sell tickets. What the... It's to sell tickets. It's fraud. So you go, I think it's fraud. I would call it fraud. Is it fraud? I don't know. Maybe. If Fashion Nova was doing it, now the FTC said manipulating review scores is fraud. Could you not just say as a blanket statement, anytime you manipulate review scores, it's fraud? Sounds fair to me. If the movie going public would actually say it's a 5.6, but you're trying to represent it as an 8.6 by deleting low reviews, is that considered fraud? I ask you the question. Is that considered fraud? We'll take a look. We'll take a closer look. Why the manipulation? Fuel for the culture war? Save Hollywood? I love this, right? There he is. So does Matt Damon look like a Greek? Maybe. I don't know. This dude, I forgot the actor's name right behind him, right? Yeah, very, very Greek. Very Greek. They had an Asian Greek. They had two black Greeks. They had a Pakistani Greek. What did they had? Like, it was like a Benetton, I've never seen so many Greeks and so many different, I would just like to think if they ever did like the Queen of Congo movie, would they do the same thing? They did the Moana movie, and Variety was so proud to say, we got to maintain their culture, man. We got to be true to the culture of, what is it? I forgot the culture of the pie. Doesn't Greek culture get the same courtesy? I guess not. The site's 5 most upvoted reviews range from just 15% to 59%, with users criticizing everything from the screenplay. And guys, I spent 20 years in Hollywood. I am a screenwriter. I will also argue, and it's out there in every stream I do, whether it's Dimension Zero or whether it's Poprageous on all channels. I put it out there as a screenwriter. Is there any other screenwriter out there that wants to go toe-to-toe with me on a live screenplay teardown of the Dark Knight, the middle movie, which is a garbage BS screenplay. The screenplay is shite. It is covered up by spectacle and the great and wonderful Heath Ledger. That's how it's covered up. But it is a garbage screenplay. Christopher Nolan is a terrible screenwriter. Tenet. Tenet. Even though I didn't mind Interstellar, could you imagine what's his name? I don't remember the character's name. Matthew McConaughey. They literally have the launching pad a couple of hours away from his home. I mean, that's convenient, right? That's really convenient. But Interstellar was not, it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a bad movie. Inception wasn't a bad movie. Look, it's spectacle, right? You start to understand that the screenplays suck. Christopher Nolan can't write worth shit. I took creative writing at university, which I think is the basis for me winning so many awards for my screenplays. Others praise the action sequences and several performances. Which performances? I'm telling you, Robert Pattinson and John Leguizamo. I tell you what, you could also put Tom Holland in there for a Razzie Award. Give these guys a Razzie Award. Give them a Razzie Award. John Leguizamo was absolutely horrific in this freaking movie. Horrific. But again, that's what you get when you get a Colombian playing a Greek. It's like, would the same be with if a Greek plays a Colombian? No, but it's just John Leguizamo's a little bit of a dumbass, right? He did terrible. His costume looks stupid. It did. All I saw was John Leguizamo with a little bit of makeup on. He was like a pig with lipstick. That's what I saw, John Leguizamo. His acting in that was horrific. Now, bad screenplays will turn great actors into bad actors. That is a law. That is a rule, guys. That is a rule. The dialogue in this movie, others praise the action sequences. The action sequences. Guys, Christopher Nolan is the worst. Fight sequence, fight anything. And I was a kickboxer for 8 years. I've been in the ring many years, many times. I've taken the hits. Look at this face. Has this face not been hit by a few punches and a few kicks? Yeah, it has. It has. Look at his face. Oh. The Dark Knight, the Batman trilogy were some of the worst, utterly stupid, asinine boxing. And I go right back to Ben Affleck in Batman v Superman when he goes into that second floor. Oh, see ya, Ishman. Thanks, my friend. Come back. 2 a.m. Oh, my God. Get some good sleep. Get some sleep. Cheers, my friend. But that was Ben Affleck on the second floor. That is literally the best Batman fight scene I've ever seen. Anyone has ever seen. Ben Affleck and Zack Snyder nailed it. I just did a short video today about Dr. Manhattan, The Watchmen, the movie. Zack Snyder, again, he nailed it. Watch the opening fight scene with the comedian. That's how you start a movie. If I can when Zack Snyder left on the Justice League. If you look at what Zack Snyder's opening was, it was what's his name? The creature at the end of Batman v Superman was holding Superman, and Superman was screaming, right? Ah! You felt it. That was the opening scene to Zack Snyder. There's some things that Zack Snyder understands with storytelling, or his crew, whoever it is. They understand we got to start this movie out. To see Superman screaming is powerful. Now the way that what's his name? James Gunn started Superman 2025 was kind of ridiculous. There was nothing but to see Superman screaming with, what was the name of that creature? What was the Doomsday? Thank you. Oh, why could I forget that? I was saying demolition. I know it's not demolition. Doomsday, right? So Doomsday is holding Superman. This is the opening scene. This is the difference between a great opening scene and a really bad opening scene. So we see Doomsday holding Superman, and Superman is screaming, and we see the shock in Batman's eyes and Wonder Woman's eyes, and it's kind of a penetrating scene. To see Superman screaming and the fact that he does die, it's a strong opening scene. In the corporate one, what do we see? We don't even see the kids. The kids run up to Superman and go, hey, what's it like being Superman? Do you like it here on Earth? Well, geez, I don't know. I guess I kind of like, really? That is a great differentiation. what works, Zack Snyder's version where you see Superman screaming in pain. That in itself doesn't register in the brain. Superman screaming in pain? That's got to be freaking serious, right? We don't see that. Or Superman with these little... Anyway, you know what I mean. That is how you start a movie and how you don't start a movie. But anyway, we're talking about action sequences. Christopher Nolan is terrible at fight scenes. He is terrible at anything dealing with, I don't know what it is. He has no feel for it, or he doesn't spend any money on it. He doesn't, Zack Snyder probably spent a lot of time and effort on that Batman fight scene and Batman v Superman when he goes to save Martha. That's a freaking fight scene, guys. That is Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck holds the best Batman fight scene. Christopher Nolan and Christian Bale, those fight scenes sucked, but they sucked ass. Bane and the Bane and Batman fight and Batman Rises. I was like, you kidding me? And then at the end, Batman beats Bane, and then the little girl with the butter knife stabs Batman through his armor, mind you. And you see Batman go, and then you see this little butter knife with blood on it. You're not going to do this, are you? You are going to do this. Holy fuck, you are going to do this. This is Christopher Nolan. This is Christopher Nolan, guys. His screenplays are garbage. His screenplays are garbage. You know what? I invite you to watch The Dark Knight. So when you think about the screenplay, look at the series of events that are happening. You got to block out the spectacle and understand, why is this character here doing what he's doing? Anyway, we'll relitigate that on a, we're back on Saturday night. We have 3 shows a week here in Poprageous. Others praise the action sequences and several performances, but even many of the positive reviews describe the film as disappointing compared to the enormous expectations surrounding Nolan's latest project. Which audience is more representative? The one that's not manipulated. IMDb and Rotten Tomatoes are paid for reviews. You could refer to it as fraud. Because the FTC said that. The FTC said that Fashion Nova was deleting 1, 2, 3, 4, and even 4 out of 5 level reviews, and the FTC deemed that as fraud. If you are deleting reviews for the purposes of magnifying to the upside how good a movie may be, so you can sell more tickets, is that fraud? Ask yourself, is that fraud? You go see a movie, you go to IMDb, well, wow, it's got an 8.6. If it was a 5.6, would you go see the movie? Would you think about it? Would you think twice? Well, maybe we should just watch. You can answer that question yourself. That is an open, is it fraud? You can answer that question. The FTC should be answering it for us, though. The gap between Rotten Tomatoes and Critic lists immediately raises an interesting question. Which audience better reflects the average moviegoer? Rotten Tomatoes has long faced criticism over the makeup of its verified audience system. Yeah, verified. If it's too low, it gets deleted. That's the problem. Rotten Tomatoes' verified audience score is limited to moviegoers who have verified ticket purchases through Fandango, meaning it represents only a subset of an overall theoretical or theatrical audience. Opening weekend scores also tend to come from the most eager fans who chose to see the film immediately after release, which can differ from broader audience sentiment that develops over time. What I would like to see is the data, the deletion data. I want to see which reviews are being deleted, why they're being deleted, and what's the level of the score. That's what I want to see, right? That's what I want to see. But if we take a look at it, where is, here it is, right here. This is freaking beautiful. This is Critic List. Now, I was just introduced to this website not too long ago. And I thought about doing this with Poprageous, because I write code, I do, that's part of my thing. It's part of let me refresh this. See if it's changed. So we got a few more votes. So here's the Odyssey, and here it is. Audience score, 46%. 46% is decent. Decent at 46%. That's a 4.6 out of 10. Voters, 219. 219, anything above 200, to me, is statistically, it won't change. It won't change after that. I'm not very knowledgeable of the story outside. This is what this gentleman says. Basics, and it's not my bag as far as the time period goes. But despite all of that, I'm not going to read more. I thought it was much more Nolan's Odyssey than the Odyssey. That's true. That's true. I found it highly inaccurate and difficult to immerse myself because there's no emotion. There's no emotional storytelling. The antagonist, which is Robert Pattinson, was about as threatening as a frickin' mouse, as a toy poodle, right? Robert Pattinson was terrible in that movie. He's the antagonist. He's the guy that's supposed to infuse in us a sense of hatred towards him. Did you ever get that? Oh, your little daddy's going. My dad's coming home. Okay, well I got.
Everybody, hey, baby.
My daddy is coming home. 0%. Went to go see the movie with a whole bunch of Greek people, from young to the elderly in my European community. I really appreciate the practical effects. I don't. Fuck, what are you talking about? Appreciate practical effects. Why does that even freaking matter? You got this animatronic hand hanging over like it looks like a 1980s movie. Oh yeah, but it's good. It's practical effects. Shut up. Stop being, you know what? Computers, what we don't like is bad CGI. Okay, that's what we don't like. But you could have added just a little bit of CGI into this damn movie and made it twice as good. So stop your practical effects bullshit. Stop it. It's like a John Wayne movie. God, please. All right, I'm better. As an entity and as a film adaptation to a classic story, this is a total disgrace. However, I will try to make an objective critique. As first, the mainstream critics' review are truly and laughably over the top, and they are. They're paid for. They want to make sure they get the invites, the parties and everything. That's what Hollywood is, my friends. 20 years in Hollywood. Hollywood's a party. It's about being a pretender. Hollywood is about pretending something you're not. I refuse to do it. I moved away, and you would think, you know what, Danny, you're not going to work in the studio system if you're out there chastising it. I'm telling the truth about the studio system. I've been in it. Been there, done that. Do I want to work for Christopher Nolan? Fuck no. Do I want to work for any studio? It's not going to happen. They only hire DEI people. And you got to know somebody. You got to be like, you got to be part of the woke group to get in there. Seriously, you do. You think, it's not going to happen. I honestly don't have the energy to type out a full-length review for this. That's true. What's the point? But the point is, my friends, we do have, So anyway, I really like this. So I'm going to put criticless. I urge you guys to anything that represents what a movie is on a valid basis. If we go to the Odyssey, this is, here we go. User reviews. Let me scroll down here. 1 out of 10. A colossal bore and a massive letdown. Daddy, are you sure it's not an MCU script? I don't know. This is really interesting. You see this, right? 10 out of 10. The Odyssey, a mature epic of extraordinary power. But look at the helpful, guys. Look at the helpful. 2,000 people said, no, and 630. That is literally 75% of the people said this is BS. Again, look at the downlinks. 10 out of 10. This is why we go to the movies. Same thing again. 75% downvote this. They can't manipulate the downvotes. 5 out of 10. When Hollywood thinks it can improve Homer, well, you got 5 out of 10. You get a slight, but that's 5 out of 10. Honest opinion. I wasn't exactly sold by the trailers, especially the casting. After finally watching the film, though, I have to admit it wasn't quite the train wreck I was expecting. I had low expectations going into the Odyssey. I did, really low. And it was lower than my expectations, which is rare. I mean, that's an epic Odyssey, not just for Odysseus. 8 out of 10. Again, same thing. Over 75%. Give a down tick to 1.6 thousand to 485. This is the theme that continues. 10 out of 10. 1.6 thousand people say no. 415 people give it an uptick. This is real. This is the real stuff. Not as much as a difference here. 1.2 to 8 point, so that basically you have 66%, 60%. 2 out of 10, thoroughly disappointed. Same thing. You've got 60%, 65% of the people upticking that. That's my point. 9 out of 10, 75% give a downtick. So obviously, most people, call it 60 to 75% of the people say, this movie sucks. It does suck. It's a bad movie. If you go see this movie and you pay the money, you will not be happy. And this is where the whole idea of, I got this on. Look at this. Did you guys see The Woman King? Look at this. Guys, 99% of verified people thought this was a great movie. 99%, my friends. For the Odyssey, 97%. 97%. Everything that we see is anywhere from the one that I did was 55%. Actually, sorry, you got to add that 8%. It was 63% negative. From my own poll that I did on my it was hundreds of votes and it was 63% negative. 63. That falls into the 60 to 75% that we're seeing on the non. So Rotten Tomatoes is literally Rotten Tomatoes. Rotten Tomatoes is literally garbage. It's your garbage. 97%. This is garbage, guys. They basically delete all of the negative reviews. So what happens is, if you say anything negative and it has something to do with, you didn't like the casting, because the races of the race swapping or this and that, that's racist, so they just get rid of it. They will get any reason why to get rid of the low ones. And of course, they are using actual companies to go in there and to stack these 5 and 10 star reviews. They pay people. The studios spend millions of dollars putting up fake. I don't know. Here's the thing. If you go to India and the Philippines and you pay people to go, I guess if they're going and they're putting on 100 reviews each, that's fraud, right? It's fraud. You're trying to fraudulently manipulate the market into believing it's a good movie. Rotten Tomatoes is garbage. It is garbage. And this brings me to the FTC fine at Fashion Nova. Federal Trade Commission. Is it going to go? There we go. I'll share this with you. Fashion Nova settlement. FTC, right at the federal. FTC sends payments to who bought products from Fashion Nova. The FTC is sending almost 150,000 payments totaling to nearly 2.4 million people who bought products from Fashion Nova before November 21st, yada, yada, yada. According to the FTC, Fashion Nova hid. Guys, I urge you to spread this around. This is review fraud. This is what the FTC against Fashion Nova called review fraud. According to the FTC, Fashion Nova hid hundreds of thousands of negative product reviews. What's the difference with a negative movie review? They're trying to sell a product. It's the same thing. From its website to make average star ratings look better, the settlement required Fashion Nova to stop hiding. Where's the FTC with movie reviews? Where's the FTC? I ask you. The settlement required Fashion Nova to stop hiding negative reviews and pay money. The FTC is using that money to send payments to people who filed a valid claim before the deadline. Will you get payment? Will you get the payment type that you selected during the blah, blah, blah? How do you file? But that's the point. They were fined. It's actually $4.2 million. What was the the fine was, it was a total of $17 million for everything concerned. The commission's interactive dashboards for refund data provide a state-by-state breakdown of refunds in FTC cases. In 2023, FTC actions led to $330 million in refunds to consumers across the country. So where are they when it comes to the reviews of movies? Where's the FTC? Because I guarantee you, do you want to call it fraud? Well, if you are reviewing or removing reviews for the purposes of making a movie just look a lot better because someone paid you to do so, is it fraud? There's a very good argument that what it is it is fraud. Could you argue that it's not fraud? That could be that's a hard argument. It's a hard argument to make, especially since the FTC has already made that ruling against Fashion Nova. So why don't we go and investigate Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb? Why don't we go investigate the obvious bullshit associated with these review numbers? That's my point. So when I say, is there fraud being perpetrated on the public? There may be. It sure looks like it. Do I have the unequivocal evidence to say, yes, there is? No. That's hiding within their website. I don't have that evidence. But circumstantially speaking, it looks like it. It sure does. It doesn't look good. It doesn't look good for Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, which is basically what I call it's a whole lot of bullshit, my friends. A whole lot of bullshit. Thank you very much. I'm going to hit that button. There we go. Thank you. There we go. There's no way you get around it. The Odyssey's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. It really is bad. I was hoping for a good movie. My expectations were so low going into the Odyssey. You know when your expectations are really high? Oh, I'm gonna love this movie. This could be the best movie. And you get in there, you're like, okay. I was expecting a 9, and I got like a 7, and you're like disappointed. Here, I was expecting a 5 or a 6 from Nolan, with all the hype, being in the movie business, being a screenwriter, having been on all sides of the cameras and everything else. I could not believe how disappointed I was, even with low expectations. This is a problem, and I think maybe the Odyssey here is going to start something. I think this is going to start the destruction of what was the Nolan halo. He has never been a great screenwriter. He does have an excessive amount of skill when it comes to directing spectacle, creating spectacle, filming spectacle. But I think the industry has worked hand in hand to create this sense of, oh, he's a great director. I don't think he's that good. He's not. He is not that good. The Batman trilogy sucked across the board. Tenet sucked. Dunkirk was like a 6. You only had to see it once and you forget about it, right? The Odyssey to me is a 4 or 5. Oppenheimer was a good movie. What are the other movies? Interstellar and Inception, they're probably both a 7. Pretty good movies, right? I don't need to watch them again. It's not like it's a Gladiator. It's not like it's a Braveheart. Like these aren't movies that you, or it's not like it's Tropic Thunder. Can I get a hell yeah for a Tropic Thunder? I need a hell yeah for Tropic Thunder. One of the best movies ever made is Tropic Thunder. Right? That is brilliant filmmaking. One of the greatest comedies ever made to me is Tropic Thunder. Easily. Even some of the Marvel movies are fantastic, right? The original Star Wars. And then the second Star Wars, the third one, which is episode 4 and 5. The prequels were not good. I mean, they're prequels. They're watchable. They weren't good. I mean, what are we getting? What are we getting? We got Star Trek Strange New Worlds now, which there aren't even enough reviews. There's 2 reviews on Rotten Tomatoes for Strange New Worlds, Star Trek. It's been a full day. There's no reviews. IMDb has no reviews because there's no reviews. What are we watching here? What are we wasting our time on? But anyway, this is what Poprageous is for. This is what I'm here. This is what I like to do. Guys, we're going to leave it at that for tonight. Thank you for watching. Thank you for spending time with me. My name is Danny Alex. This is Poprageous. I will see you on Saturday night on Poprageous Live. It's Saturday night.